Okay, I want to go over this article with you from the New York Times about how Trump downplayed the coronavirus from the start. And it has a timeline of everything he pretty much said about it, starting on January 22nd all the way through March. And then it has the experts and what they're saying and how they are at complete odds with what the Mango Menace buffoon is saying. It's just to lay to rest, like, because there are some people out there that just blow my mind that they still think that is handling this well, or he has handled this well. He sat on his hands for 2 months and downplayed it. People talk. He likes to always point to the Chinese travel ban, that he banned travel from China. This is where you got the devil's in the details. He banned foreigners from traveling into America from China. So Americans that were overseas in China, they were still able to come back into this country, as they should be, right? But what do you have to do then when they come back to this country? You have to test them and trace them at the airport. Soon as they get back into this country, you have to have the personnel test them, trace them, and quarantine them until their results come back. Otherwise, if they are a carrier of the virus, when they get back, they're going to spread it around, and that's what happened. And then afterwards, he closed down. He likes to tout how he closed down travel from Europe. Again, he only closed it to foreigners. So the same thing applies to what I just said. And by that point, it was too late. The virus was already here. It had already got here from someone traveling from China to America. Once the virus is already here and it's already on your shores, stopping travel isn't going to do anything anymore. You got to test, and test some more and quarantine people. You can't downplay it for months. Let's go through them one by one. So here we got January 22nd. President Trump expressed optimism. Quote, "We have it totally under control. It's one person coming from China, and we have it under control. It's going to be just fine." Yeah, I'm sure. It is going to be just fine. Look at where we are now. We have like over 60,000 cases, hundreds of people dead. It's just fine. You know what's crazy to me is there's a lot of things that this has shown me about Americans in general, a lot of terrible things. And one of them is our complete inability to understand exponential growth. Like when you were sitting in algebra class and you were like, man, when are we ever going to need this? This is when you're going to need this. Like, people have no idea what exponential growth is and lag time on transmission of diseases. It's going to lead to a lot of people dying. Let's keep going. February 22nd, he was on Sean Hannity. He said, quote, "We pretty much shut it down coming in from China." What is, oh man, let's just, I just already addressed this. That's just, oh my God. See, here, as I said, here's the expert, the Health and Human Service Secretary said, quote, "We're very measured and incremental. They did not apply to American citizens, permanent residents, or their immediate family." So it didn't apply to a permanent resident or their family either. So you got all these people coming back in who have been in China and they're traveling back to America, and they should be allowed back in, yes, but you need to test them. You need to test them, quarantine them, and trace them, where they've been, where they're going. None of that happened. And they were out on the streets spreading the disease. Let's keep going. Those are just more experts telling you how dumb your president is. February 14th, quote, "There's a theory that in April, when it gets warm, historically, that it has been able to kill the virus. Who later said, we have no reason to believe that this virus would behave differently in different temperatures." So again, you tell me, who do you believe? Your jackass president or the health officials and experts at the WHO? February 22nd, or 26th, sorry. Quote, "We're going down, not up. We're going very substantially down, not up." He continued, "As they get better, we take them off the list. So they're going to be pretty soon at only 5 people. And we could be at just 1 or 2 people over the next short period of time. What on God's green earth is this man talking about? At that point in time, we already had 60 people. Let's keep going. February 27th. Oh, this is a good one. This is one of the best word salads you'll ever see. This is a good one. Quote, it's going to disappear one day. It's like a miracle. It'll disappear. And from our shores, it could get worse before it gets better. It could maybe go away. We'll see what happens. Nobody really knows. Oh, man. That's not even English. Who talks like that? Like, he can't even formulate sentences. Oh, my God. This is just frightening. February 28th. This is the good one. This is where he calls the Democrats, it's a grand conspiracy amongst the Democrats to bring them down. Quote, they tried anything. They tried it over and over, he said, and this is their new hoax. Later, he accused the news media of being hysteria mode. This is the Democrats' new host. They got into a smoke-filled room in the back, and they planted a virus in China that would make its way across the globe, destroying lives in countless countries worldwide, all to bring down the economy and destroy lives in their own country to bring down Donald Trump. If you believe that, kill yourself. Here we go. Another one. March 2nd. This is a good one. This is where he talks about how a vaccine is relatively soon. Quote, we had a great meeting today with a lot of great companies, and they're going to have vaccines, I think, relatively soon. All the experts basically say that it takes anywhere from 12 to 18 months to get a vaccine out. This guy, relatively soon, we're going to have a vaccine. Holy Christ. March 4th. Quote, well, I think the 3.4% is a really false number. Now, that's just my hunch. Oh, yeah, just his hunch. Please, Christ. But based on a lot of conversations with a lot of people that do this, because a lot of people will have this and very mild, he continued to, I think the number, personally, I would say the number is way under 1%. It probably is. It probably is. We wouldn't really know because we're not testing enough, but it probably is low. But this doesn't really have much to do with the death rate. It has to do with the strain on our medical facilities, the strain on our medical professionals. That's what it has to do with. It has to do with making the choice of who gets a ventilator because we don't have enough, and whoever doesn't get it dies. You want to make that choice? And let's be real. Let's say half the country gets it. So we're 300 million people or something like that. So 150 million people. Let's say if 1%, if the death rate is 1%, that's 1.5 million people dead. That's a lot of people. Let's keep going. March 6th. Quote, anybody that needs a test can have a test. That's a complete lie. Complete lie. March 7th. Quote, no, I'm not concerned at all. No, I'm not. No, we've done a great job. When asked on whether or not they think he's doing a great job. Yeah, you've done such a great job. A few weeks ago, before this, you were calling it a Democratic hoax. March 10th. Oh, this is where he talks about the border and a wall. We need a wall more than ever. Going up fast, we need the wall more than ever. Why do we need the wall more than ever? Does this have something to do in his brain with coronavirus? What does the wall on the Mexican border have to do with coronavirus? And then this is when he talked about how Google was developing a site, and they weren't. Another lie in one of his pressers. March 15th. This is a very contagious virus. It's incredible, but it's something we have tremendous control of. Oh, yeah, we're a lot of control over it. At that point, we had 3,000 cases. Now we have over 60. That's how much control we have over it. Lastly, March 17th. Quote, I've always known this is real. This is a pandemic, he said. I felt it was a pandemic long before it was called a pandemic. Well, that just makes no fucking sense because from the very beginning, as I went through this list, he was downplaying it and saying they had it under control and it's a Democratic hoax and there's no need to worry and soon we'll have one case. This is your goddamn president. This is who 50 plus million people are going to vote to re-elect.